Hello, New York Realers. Thank you so much for being with me during Roberto Blake Week. This week, we have a guest, my friend, who is a creator, YouTuber, educator, entrepreneur, marketer, and he is Roberto Blake. His slogan is always be creating. Monday to Friday, we have 5 days of awesome content. Monday's theme is everything YouTube. Tuesday, technology. Wednesday, entrepreneurship. Thursday, creativity. And Friday, if this is the first time you're watching New York Real, my name is Olive Hoyt. Our slogan on New York Real TV is the act of finding out. It's all about learning and taking action. Do what you love and find a way to pay yourself. Besides New York Real Zoom, where I interview my guests on Zoom, I have New York Real interviews, New York Real field trips, New York Real fit. Subscribe to my channel, New York Real TV. Be a part of the community. We are here to do cool things together and experience life and make the best out of it. Hey guys, welcome back to New York Real Zoom. I'm Olive Hoyt. I'm here with Roberto Blake because this is Roberto Blake Week. Do you know who Roberto Blake is? He is a state of mind to me. When you say, I know Roberto Blake or I watch his channel, there's a certain quality that you expect, value, that you know that this person you can trust. I learned so much from my friends and I have to bring him on to my show to share him with you guys. And we love to talk to you today about YouTube.
Thanks so much for having me, Olive.
Last night at 11 p.m., you were still doing a live stream. You did like three yesterday.
It was it was like I was testing some new hardware and some new software that I had. I made a significant investment recently in taking up professional level live streaming. It was not cheap. So I wanted to test it and I wanted to engage with my audience and kind of show them behind the scenes of the process of learning a thing. Because I think that a lot of people are scared to do that. I think everyone wants to just show people a finished product, and that's fine. I have nothing against that. But showing people the process, making people understand that this stuff isn't necessarily easy, but that's straightforward, that comes with risk, that things are going to go wrong, and how you deal with that, I think that there's a value to that.
Absolutely. And I love that you said some people like the videos to be polished, but you like to screw up in front of people.
Yeah. Working up to that is not an easy thing to do, but if you can do it, it means you're not afraid of the chaos anymore. I suffered through depression and anxiety in my corporate career, and screwing up or letting people down or not delivering was like the worst thing in the world you could do. Or having something less than perfect, having a typo was the end of the world. So if you can get from that to where you can go on live video, have every technical difficulty under the sun and roll with it and make it okay, but also keep the audience engaged and keep them on your side. Once you can do that, you're at a different level.
You show us your first drone flying. I was there watching it on my phone. I just love that you share your learning process with us. And you're smart, so you're a fast learner, and we pick up with you. Now I want that drone.
I think of myself as a crash test dummy for creative pros and creative entrepreneurs. It's like when I do like my camera gear reviews, I'm going to buy this thing. I'm going to see what works. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to talk you through the process. And the thing is, I don't sit there and I don't just try to rush out a review week one. Oh, this new thing came out. I'm going to use it for 2 days and I'm going to put out a review as quickly as I can. I'll put out my first impressions of a thing early. Sure. I'll put out an unboxing and like the first time I used it. Sure. But it's like, I like to use something for a few weeks and then give you a review. But also while I'm using it, I'm going to show you my results from each feature that I'm testing in depth. I mean, I've done like 4 or 5 videos on the Sony RX100 Mark V on my YouTube channel, and I haven't done a full review on it yet. I'm ready to do that review. I need to put out a video on the low light performance test first that I did and show people how this handles low light, especially for people of color that have to worry about contrasting in a darker environment. And like you said, I did the drone. I'm going to do a live streaming test from the drone on YouTube. Haven't practiced on Facebook where I have a smaller audience. Haven't practiced anywhere. Nope. Just going to go to the place where I have the biggest audience and show you guys something in real time. And if I crash this drone while I'm doing that, you're going to see that too.
To us, it's like you're testing the drone. We are learning how you learn, and also the live streaming, because we're also interested in watching it in real time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit. You are a YouTuber, a creator, marketer, educator, and you now have 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Is that right?
Yes. And I started building my audience in July of 2013. If you like go back in like archive.org or whatever, or my lifetime stats, I had my channel since 2009, but I didn't have any subscribers. I signed up to YouTube and didn't do anything with it. Just like so many other people for years, I wasn't really doing anything.
Like
I
just
did like,
watching videos and just being
yeah,
in it.
just like random stuff. And I did like one camera test, like in my backyard, and I did like, 5, 6 videos. I didn't take it seriously for
Those
years.
are classics now. We
Yeah.
gotta dig them out.
Yeah, no, I like going back and watching my old stuff because I like seeing what my on-camera presence and energy was then versus now. I like remembering my evolution as a human being, remembering what a different time in my life might have looked like. I don't hold it against anybody who takes down their old stuff because they don't feel it represents them anymore, or it's not who they were anymore. But I think that scrapbooking is important as a creative person. It's why I'm probably just going to like start doing daily selfies in Instagram just as a scrapbook for this is where I was and what I was thinking at this moment in time. And that's like, and whatever value I think there is to that, because those thoughts, you've noticed I've started doing a YouTube vlog kind of thing also called Creative Thoughts, where I'm just talking about how I think and feel about different things in the creative world instead of just a how-to video. I'm letting you guys explore my mindset because I think that that's going to be important. It's why I'm writing a book that's about creative mindset and how to be successful as a creative. It's not just like a creative entrepreneurship business book. There is tactical stuff in there, but a lot of it is we have things in our head that keep us from being successful as creative people. It's not something that every other type of person in a profession might identify with all the time or in the same way that we do. So I thought it was important to get a creative's perspective on what a successful mindset shift looks like. And I interviewed like a ton of different creative people, both people who are still working in the industry. Some people are entrepreneurs with different backgrounds. My personal brand revolves a lot around what I do, who I am, what I've done, my life experience. And I just think that for all of the types of different pieces of content and how-to videos and things that are out there, I just don't feel like I've ever seen somebody show and represent what the life of being a creative and being a creative business person really looks like. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out what do I do to represent that? What do I do to show people that that's possible?
Do you remember the first time you were glued to our YouTube channel when you were younger, when you're watching? What drew you to YouTube and think that is cool? I'm going to watch every video of this person.
I don't think there really was initially someone like that. I think that that's something that happened over time. I didn't really get into the YouTube culture until I became a YouTuber. I was still just watching one-off videos. I was using the platform back in like late 2005. I was hanging out in my friend's kitchen. We were watching old Super Bowl ads, So I've been a user, but I didn't understand for a long time that YouTube personalities were a thing until like maybe 2010 or something, 2011. Now, I will say that because of the things I do creatively, there were people that I started to like really pay attention to and that I admire in the space. People like Terry White from Adobe, people like Nathaniel Dodson from TutVid. He's a great creative educator around tutorials. People like Howard Pinsky, people like Jared Polin, and now Ted Forbes, art of photography, the Northups, Tony and Chelsea Northup. They're a couple, they're a photography couple, people like Matt Granger. So they're like a lot of the creative people in the YouTube world more than the entertainers are the people I paid attention to. People that are a little bit of both, like Freddie Wong and Devin Supertramp. Love those guys. Justine. I found out like by reading her biography that we're very similar. So, those are the types of personalities I gravitate toward. I gravitate much more toward creative people that, produce, shoot, and edit their own stuff, or they're artists more than I do the mainstream YouTubers.
And I also didn't even feel like a YouTuber until the last year. A lot of people saw me as a podcaster, and I just said I'm an independent broadcaster. And then when I found you and I found our buddies, I was like, this is so fun. When we hung out with our friends, like everybody's vlogging, everybody has a camera. We're all getting each other's footage. That's so much joy. Like that just creates joy.
There's a huge vlogging community in New York. I mean, there are plenty of like people, I hope you and Craig are still talking and hanging out since we met. Like there are just so many like YouTubers and great people in New York. And like, I really think you should kind of like get more into that scene.
I definitely will. And every time you tag like me and all the friends in a tweet, like I go research them, I say hi. And it's just great to know that we're in this YouTube together or in this life journey together. We're all learning, doing cool stuff, changing and adapting. And that's what I really like about you, because you don't fall into any rabbit hole. You have a very clear vision. I know we're talking about YouTube, but I would like you to share a little bit about when you think you found it, like your vision, what you want to do in life, what brings you joy, and that I should continue this route in this direction.
I just like making cool stuff. It sounds like it's just a throwaway, but I'm dead serious. My philosophy and like, even the way I do my branding, I say, create awesome, just create awesome, create something awesome today. It's not just branding and taglines. It's literally the thesis under which I live my life. If I create something awesome today, in my mind is a mandate for creative success. It means that you have to take action. To create is to do something, to bring something into the world, to give power to your thought, to make it a thing. So that's a really important action that you can take, and it's very specific. To create something awesome is to create something of value, something of worth, something that you're invested in, something that you're proud to sign your name to. What are you going to leave behind? What are you doing today that made today worthwhile? What was today about? That's important. And then again, today creates a sense of urgency, but also a sense of consistency. So if you have to create something awesome today, and every single day you have to say, yep, I did that, or, oh, the day's a wash, I failed to create something awesome, then at the end of the year, you look back, there's no way to not have a sense of accomplishment. There's no way to not feel like you lived intentionally and with purpose. What people are doing that is so distressing to me is they're being reactionary. They're letting life dictate to them. They're going with the flow is not I understand the concept behind it. I understand that people want to be Zen. And I think that you should have a fluid mind. You shouldn't be rigid in your thoughts. You should have a fluid and flexible mind. And I get that. I respect that. And I agree with that. What I don't agree with is this philosophy of, just let life happen and life happens. It's like, no, you can be open to things, but you should be intentional. And you should look at how this thing gets you where you need to go or where you want to go, or what it allows for, or how it brings value to you. And you should try to specify that. Don't just accept that, this person is in my life. I guess they're in my life for a reason. It's like, try to get to the nitty gritty of it's like, what about this person is so very interesting to me? Try to understand that. And it's like, what can I do for them? What can I give to them? And also then, understand it's like, what can we do together? What can they help me with that gives both of us value? When you start thinking in those terms and you live that intentionally, you'll find that success doesn't feel like it's out of reach. You'll find that you feel, again, accomplished, that you don't feel demotivated, that you don't need some grandiose inspiration to drop out of the sky, because you have momentum. You're doing a thing, and you're doing the thing you want to do. You're not just doing whatever thing presented itself to you. You're not just, arbitrarily floundering or meandering for your day. You have to walk through your life with a sense of purpose and clarity. And again, I'm not saying it's just gonna happen, but you have to start thinking about what you really want. And that's what you should be working toward. The majority of your effort should be focused on what you actually want.
Everyone's like spending time defining what they don't want, what they hate about. And I love that you said daily. It gives you the urgency and consistency. Never heard of that. That's such a good way to look at it.
What do you want out of today? What do you really want out of today?
And I often like feel like an alien in this body when I wake up. Whoa, I get to have a body to live life. I get to walk around. I get to go to Whole Foods and pick my salad, and I can run, I can jog. And it's like we forget sometimes and we let little things just get to us. And I really love that your work ethic. It's almost like you're not even trying. You just have that standard to meet. And
that's a hack. No, that's part of the hack. Part of the trick is that if you are doing these things that you want to do and you're being very intentional about it and you're making that your habit, it won't feel like it takes this overwhelming amount of effort because you have a standard, you have an expectation. It will be more painful for you to not do this thing than to do it. It is more painful to me to lounge around all day and watch Netflix than to do stuff because I made it a habit to do one thing versus the other.
Well, it doesn't mean you don't have fun.
No, but also what I define as fun is what you take enjoyment out of. I mean, what I do, it's valuable and it's profitable and it's quote unquote work, but I actually dig the things that I do because I decided to take things that I enjoy and I learned how to monetize them. What would I talk about all day and make my friends' ears bleed anyway? Oh, great. Now I figured out how to make money doing that. Cool. Well, what is it I've spent money, lots of money to go out and do? Okay, cool. I figured out how to make money back on doing those things. Oh, I figured out how to get value out of those things. I figured out how to get content out of those things. So, I mean, that's what I figured out about myself. That's kind of what I wanted to do.
Is there anything about YouTube that you don't get asked about but you want to tell fellow YouTubers?
I think the thing that people won't tell you about YouTube is that you should, in some ways, it's weird. It's a weird conversation to have because on the one hand, you should be thinking about what other people are going to spend time. Like if you're going to make something and you're going to ask someone, if you're going to ask someone for 5 minutes or 10 minutes of their life, that they could be doing anything else. They could be playing with their kid. They could be making out with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They could be making money. If you're going to ask for 5 or 10 minutes of their life, you should make it worth their while. But at the same time, if you're going to spend an hour or 2 hours making a video, why don't you make something you care about instead of worrying about what other people will like and be popular? And again, these sound like contradicting statements, but it's that you have to make videos for yourself and for the other people like you, however many people that is. I don't think that you should think of YouTube in like a selfish, oh, I want to be internet famous kind of way, because I don't believe in that. I think that's kind of like naive. I think that if that's your goal, well, who cares about making you famous, right? It's like customers don't care about making Apple rich. Like I didn't buy the iPhone to make Apple rich. And I bought this thing because it did things and saved me time and it made my life a little simpler. People have this idea and they're like, well, why don't people subscribe to me or why don't people watch my thing? It's like, why should they? And it sounds harsh. It's like, but why should they? It's like, people don't respect this idea of objective quality. They think that working hard on a video entitles them to views and subscribers. It's like, no one cares how hard you work. Sorry, that's truth. It's like when I watch a video, I don't care how hard somebody worked on it. I care about, did this give me what I was looking for? Did I learn a thing if I was looking to learn? Was I entertained if I was looking to be entertained? Was I informed if I was looking to be informed? If I was looking for a good feeling, did it satisfy that good feeling? What did I get out of this? What did I get out of this? It's like, you got 5 minutes of my time. What? Like, why should I drop a like, a comment, a subscribe? What does that do for me? You like, people don't think about the other person. They don't do what my friend Brian Fanzo says, which is think like a fan, right? But at the same time, you then have other creators that all they want to do is be acknowledged. All they want is the attention. And so instead of having an authentic voice or integrity, all they do is pander and cater to what they think will get them views, what they think will get them subs, even if they don't believe in it, even if it's not something that brings any value to them or that they don't even enjoy making, they'll do it because it's what the expectation is, or it's because what they think will work. And I don't agree with that. People are like, well, how else am I supposed to get attention? Or how else am I supposed to, like, why does it matter to you so much? You've seen my stuff and you've seen my numbers and it proves it, right? I don't care about the view counts. I don't care about the subscriber number. I do care about the subscriber number in the sense that it's a tally for me of, did I help at least one person one time do something they wanted to do? I don't need the attention. What I need to know is, like, after my thing, was this thing that you wanted to do harder or easier? And I'm just counting that as a measuring stick. I made my YouTube channel to grow my personal brand, to help other people. I use YouTube as a vehicle. It's not a destination. I don't need to make it in YouTube. I'm using YouTube to make it in the business world. That's my destination, is the real world, the business world, entrepreneurship, the creative community. These are real places. YouTube helps me get to things in the real world. YouTube helps me get on flights and do speaking engagements. YouTube puts me into client meetings. YouTube puts me into email discussions with people. YouTube puts me into meetings with brands. It also gives me an insight into what other people are thinking in terms of all the data and all of the comments, and understanding what the pulse of people working in the creative services industry are doing, what creative students are struggling with. That's valuable information for me to have, because one, I can help them. And then I can also help brands and companies that want to support them and that it's lucrative to support them understand what's happening in the real world and not in their ivory tower. I can bring reality to the corporate side of creativity to say, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in the real world. This is what you're not seeing. Here's data. Like, I'm not guessing. Here is like 100 people saying the same thing. Here's 1,000 people saying the same thing. Here's 10,000 people who care about this thing that's very different than what your assumption is. You know, so I like those things. That's what it means and represents. And again, that's not going to gel for everybody. They have to figure out their thing. YouTube made me a much better public speaker than I would be otherwise. Getting comfortable breaking down complicated subject matter into concise bites in 5 or 10 minutes is valuable to be able to do as a speaker. Being able to thread conversations together and pivot the way you would in a YouTube playlist and go through 10 things in an hour on stage, having that stamina, doing hour and 2 hour long live streams gives me the stamina to be able to handle that. I could do an hour of nothing but Q&A on stage because I've done it for 2 hours on YouTube repeatedly, time out. It's the data has made me a subject matter expert in a lot of things because I have the experience. And people can debate anything they want about my numbers to their heart's content. What they can't debate is the simple fact that I've produced, edited, and shot and distributed and marketed 1,000 pieces of online content. And that's just in one platform. And I'm in every platform.
I mean, people always say that one day, if Facebook's not around, are you able to reach your fans? And I just feel like if every social media just closed down, your fans and friends probably gonna fly to you, walk to you, and find you. Did you go to school with Roberto Blake? Anyone?
So that's why I make myself as accessible as possible. I'm in every platform because, again, I'm not worried about making it as a YouTuber. I'm worried about making it as a creative entrepreneur. People have to have a vision beyond YouTube. My friend Sarah Dici, she's a YouTuber, but she's a filmmaker first. She was a filmmaker before she was a YouTuber. She was a photographer before she was a YouTuber. She was a musician before she was a YouTuber. Craig Adams was a photographer and a filmmaker before he was a YouTuber. And YouTube is a vehicle.
So amazing. Yeah.
I hate this concept that people believe they have to be a YouTuber first and foremost. If you're tying your identity to a platform in the same way that before that our parents' generation tied their identity to their job title, you're doomed.
It is so interesting that we're talking about YouTube, but it's almost like to strip away what YouTube is, we're talking about everything else.
Look, I think 2017 is the golden era of YouTube. And I think that the golden era will last from 2017 through 2020. And then I think the bubble pops. I give it 2022. Because YouTube is a little over 10 years old now. There's a lot of culture shift happening in YouTube. There's a lot of businessy stuff happening. There's a lot of technological evolution, but we've reached I think a pinnacle and a peak of technological evolution in YouTube, because on the tech side and innovation, where do they really have left to go? They've already laid the foundation for virtual reality and VR. So now it's just a matter of affordable VR technology to make VR stuff being in the hands of regular people and it getting easier on them. So like we see how fast technology moves. That's 3 to 5 years. So between 2020, 2022 is where that's come full circle, right? 360 cameras are already affordable now. 360, the foundation's been laid for that. 4K video is affordable now, and it's going to be in like every smartphone. So the foundation's already laid for that. We don't need 8K video on the internet. We barely have the bandwidth to consume 4K video. We've got mobile live streaming in the platform now. We've got desktop live streaming in the platform. That's accessible to regular people. What else is there for the engineers at YouTube to do in terms of adding new features aside from more community stuff, which that's going to happen, and that's great. But in terms of big technological leaps, okay, we're done. In terms of monetizing, it's like advertisers get it now. YouTube is positioned, they just announced YouTube TV. YouTube is going to be competing with mainstream television. Mainstream television is coming to YouTube. And that's been in the works for a while. And now, I interviewed a guy who directly did an early release and screening exclusively on a YouTube channel of a feature-length film that's going to theaters. So I did that with Eric Peter Carlson for Wolfmother. That film. There was a direct 2-week screening of a film direct to YouTube exclusively that's going to theaters, and it was a great guerrilla marketing campaign. People in the real world are taking YouTube seriously now. 3 to 5 years, that comes full circle. There's no one who doesn't take it seriously after that because it's past the decade hump, just like Facebook. This is real to people. The advertisers are shifting over here. We have smart TVs. 3 to 5 years, every TV is a smart TV. We get 3 years of the golden era where the new creators will rise. The people who've been YouTube stars, right? They're starting to age out a little bit from the platform. Some of them transition to mainstream. Some of them are doing their thing, and some of them are just quitting. There's a lot of people that are burning out because of scandals and their life being disrupted because this has overtaken their life. A lot of these YouTube creators, they're starting families. The kids that grew up watching them have kids now. The mainstream audience in YouTube is still so young. So we're going to see a shift of people who grow up. Maybe they grow out of the platform, or maybe they stay on the platform, but now the audience for them is the older people. That's a minority in the community. And now there's going to be a new young generation of creatives to come in, and that's great. But it means 3-year window of this great golden era of new innovation and new content and the last bits of technological advancements. And then 2 more years before the bubble pops and things get very interesting, in my opinion, and it becomes this is now normalized. I'll give you a primary example. Until 2012, nobody could break the 2 million subscriber bubble in YouTube. The ceiling was 2 million subscribers. Nobody could break 2 million subscribers in 2012. That was just 5 years ago. PewDiePie now has over 50 million. You have about 300 creators right now that have 10 million. You have about 5,000 or so creators that have 1 million. More people will continue to start using YouTube as it becomes mainstream. 70% of my audience is millennials, 18 to 34. Only 7% of my audience is under 18, which means that the other overwhelming 23% of my audience is over 34 at that point. And about roughly 30% of my audience is between 25 and 35. And then after that, it skews older. So 70% of my audience is over 25. 93% of my audience is over 18, and 70% of my audience is millennials. And what that tells me is that my audience is people who are either creative students, or they're working in the industry already, or they're decision makers and thought leaders and the people at the top that make decisions. So that is an important distinction about who's watching my channel. It's not I'm not making kids content, and the majority of the demographic of YouTube is young people, which means that it may not sound like a lot to some people, although it does in the business world, to have 200,000 subscribers. And I'm not on the same level as these guys, but you have to keep in mind, Tony Robbins has 250,000 subscribers. Bestselling author Tim Ferriss has 150,000 subscribers. Bestselling author Jay Baer has I think less than 5,000 subscribers. Bestselling author Joel Comm, less than 10,000 subscribers. Instagram expert and world recognized public speaker Subi Zimmerman, I think she has less than 20,000. Gary Vaynerchuk has about over 500,000 now. Evan Carmichael's pretty close as well. But both of those guys had less subscribers than I currently do just last year. And these are entrepreneurs that built 7 and 8 and 9 figure businesses.
And impactful in the world.
Right. So when you have people like Tony Robbins, like not even having 250,000 YouTube subscribers, and he's Tony Robbins, but you have kids who talk trash on the internet that have 5 million subscribers, that tells you what the culture of YouTube is. Which is why, as much as I take it seriously, I also don't take it seriously. And it's why I fight the vanity metrics so much, because I'm like, that's not an evaluation of how good anybody is at anything. And then I also tell you that some of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, they can't shoot and edit their own stuff today. They did it when they started out of their room or their house or whatever. But today they don't really know how to do that as well. A lot of them just hire that out and they use other people to do that. And that's fine. I'm about to hire an editor too. But that's because I want to take more meetings and I want to do more interviews like this. But creatively, I've edited 1,000 videos, even in YouTube. Having edited 1,000 videos is a real accomplishment that most YouTubers, even the most successful YouTubers in this platform, have not shot, edited, and produced 1,000 videos. And that is actually a very important skill. You can, popularity is one thing and you can leverage that. Notoriety is one thing. One thing you can't underestimate value of is skills, because you can lose popularity. People can decide they don't like you. You could have a scandal and you could bleed subscribers. You know what someone can't take away? Your skills. Your skills. At the end of the day, if YouTube went away, I'd still make a crap ton of money as a consultant. I'd still make a crap ton of money as a video editor, a video producer, a photographer. I have real skills. I can still go in and I can still walk in and pitch executives. I used to be a pitch guy when I was in advertising. I could walk into a meeting, with the decision makers in a company or a department, and I can sell creative all day, every day. And again, that's not a humble brag. It's that, if YouTube goes away or if other social media platforms go away, you realize that some people not only lose their voice, they lose their income, they lose their identity, they lose everything. They literally lose everything because they're all in on their status in the platform. I'm a subject matter expert. But even if I wasn't, this is controversial to some people, I would have made sure that if I was an entertainment YouTuber, I would have done everything I could to have positive inroads with the mainstream media so that I'm not beholden to this platform, and so that I could cross over into television and film or radio or public appearances and events, and that I could build a strong brand outside of YouTube. And any money and success I had, if I was an entertainment-based YouTuber, for anyone who doesn't want to be a business person or educator, take your YouTube money if you make it in YouTube and build a real business that has nothing to do with YouTube.
I usually ask my guests, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? If they're older, what would you tell your 30-year-old self? But in YouTube years, what would you, Roberto Blake, today tell the Roberto Blake who has 1,000 subs?
Work harder. Work harder. Make more videos. Work harder, make more videos, beat yourself up some more, and make them better. I'm not even kidding. That's the thing about it. And partly, I don't even know when I had 1,000 subscribers. People don't believe me, but it's like all I did was obsess over. I didn't like how the audio was coming out. I thought the videos could have been better. I thought my energy on camera could have been better. I was looking at all the things that I had to do to close the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. And I didn't give a crap about the subscriber count. That would come as a result of being better. Most people think that, once you hit 1,000 subs, 10,000 subs, that's when everything takes off. It's like, no, the work that it required for you to do to get good enough to get 1,000 people to give a crap, the work you had to do to get good enough to get 10,000 people to give a crap is the foundation of quality that makes you worth 100,000 people giving a crap, 1 million people giving a crap. The foundation of the work. 200,000 subscribers isn't what's going to get me to 1 million one day. What's going to get me to 1 million one day is everything I learned and how much better I got from between 0 and 1,000 plus videos. That is what gets you to 1 million.
Here we are again, another shot of drink.
Hey, thank you so much for watching New York Resume Roberto Blake Week. Did you enjoy the conversation? Go check out robertoblake.com. Connect with him on social medias. Please subscribe to my channel, New York Read TV, so we can stay in touch. And there will be more videos like this coming. We had Becky Walsh Week, where we talk about intuition. Dory Clark Week, where we talk about how to become recognized in your field. This week with Roberto Blake Week, we learn how to survive as a creative in 2017. Comment down below to let me and Roberto know what you think about today's topic. Are you a creative? Are you an entrepreneur? What's your experience like? And give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much, Roberto, for sharing. Thank you so much, New York Realists, for supporting my channel. And don't forget, create something awesome today. See you in my next video.
Never gonna love without you, never gonna fade away. Can we get this shit together?